So this is part way through a restoration of an old mandolin that a friend of mine gave to me. He said, see what you can do with this. So here's what we've done so far. On the neck, which was badly, the front end of the instrument here had caved in, it was broken, the top was coming off a bit in this area. It had split along the area where the heads or the neck was, because everything here had pulled away and put a lot of force on it. So excuse me. So I've filled some cracks in here, and I had to insert some spruce material into here to deal with some of the cracks. I've got some cleanup to do along the edge of this, so that we can put some inlay back in there, some molding. I've converted this to a bolt-on neck. I just think the frailness of this and the way it's built, bolt-on neck would be a little more secure and easier to deal with in the future. So I've drilled this out and inserted a grommet that will accept a bolt that I have here someplace. Here it is. So this will go in from the inside and bolt through and bolt the neck on. So I've done that. I've drilled the hole, aligned it all, checked it out, and yes, it all works. I've built a wedge that's gone in here, because now to get a better neck angle, it's got to come up off the fretboard enough that it needs a bit of a lift in there. If you can see that, how that's going to shape up, but there we go. Sit right about in there. So I've had to build a special bridge for it as well. The original hole in here was just a small oval, and in order to make it look a little better, as well as reinforce it in here, I opened this up and made it into a circle hole instead, and then I put binding around this, which hasn't quite set up yet. I have to deal with that. So here, that's where we're at the moment. Where are we going next? Probably the next thing I want to show you, I've stripped this top. It was a really ugly greenish black mottled surface on it, and it wasn't attractive at all. The back and sides are okay, a little bit of scratching and stuff, but I've dealt with most of that, and it is an old instrument, probably 40s, 50s, maybe earlier. But the next thing I'm going to do is stain the top. I've already stripped it all off and got the most of the preparation work done. I got to do a little more sanding in here, but for the most part, that's all ready to start the staining. So we'll show you that in the next segment here. So I've cleaned off the surface here with water and sanded it again, cleaned it again, and so now I've applied some stain. Started out with some what's called light brown Phoebings, and it's gone on pretty patchy, but I think we'll keep bringing more layers to it, and I think it'll be okay. So that's the light tan color. I'll start bringing in some yellow, which is just a shade darker. Just using the same rag, so kind of blend the colors as we go. So I've been doing a little bit more fine tuning here, kind of touched up around the sound hole and cleaned up some of the binding. I've still got a piece to put in here, and I'm contemplating exactly how I'm going to do that, because I don't think the old binding is going to fit very well, and half of it's gone anyway. There was some black in it, and the black is missing, so I don't think that's going to be a good fit. So I'll work on that. Need to clean up this a little bit before I put the neck on it. But before I do that, I'm going to actually start finishing this with some True Oil, and maybe clean up some of this on the side. I don't think it's worth actually refinishing that part of it. So I'm going to get started there, but I'm also working on a pick guard. So I've been looking at material colors to put on here for a pick guard, trying to figure out what would work in here best, and kind of like that. But I decided that I'm going to go with this material here, and I've got just a little bit more cut out there. That's just about done, and that's what the pick guard is going to look like. And how I do that is I lay out a piece of clear laminate on top and kind of sketch out the design of the pick guard that I'm looking for, and then I overlay that onto a piece of pick guard material, and that's what it's going to look like with the neck in place in here. And I kind of like that. It's kind of non-pronounced, just a little bit of an accent. I think it'll look good. It's a kind of a woodish grain brown. Kind of go with the other colors that are in here. So I'll set that aside for now, because I think that's about ready to go. We'll just put that on with some two-sided tape, but we won't do that until after we're done finishing this. So now it's time for one last weight down. And you know what? I think I'm going to take my Dremel, clean that up a bit, and maybe put in this this edging material here before I put on the True Oil. Yeah, that's my next step. Okay, I'm using kind of a flush bit. We'll see how this works, but Just need to deepen this a little bit here so I can get the black binding and the white binding together in there to kind of match the other stuff. So let's see how this goes. The nice thing about true oil is that you don't have to do a lot of preparation, and I just like to put it on with my fingers. You can use a brush or foam brush or a roller and all sorts of things, but fingers work just pretty good. First coat really soaks things up, as most finishes. You don't want to get it on too thick, just a nice even thin coat as your primer coat. The first coat dries very slowly. It takes a full day in most cases to dry it before you can recoat it. Just rub it in really good. And we want to make sure that we didn't have any go over the edge. There's a little bit of rough spots in there, and that'll come out when we give it a little bit of sanding after this is dried. And there we go. And this is the final step. There's just to make it full sweeps. Okay. Okay, let's look at the progress that we've made. I've put about 4 more coats of true oil on this, and I think the finish looks pretty good. I'll probably buff it out yet and put a coat of wax on it, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking. I've put the neck back on. I've used a bolt-on neck style, so I've just kind of temporarily put the neck in place, and I'm going to see how everything lines up and get the bridge and saddle kind of into position. So what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to get this bridge stained that I've got cut out. Got the bridge here, and it's got some recesses in it so that the bridge fits on there. So I think I kind of like the way that looks. So I'm going to put a coat of, I like to dye it black, just because of the black accents on the headstock and fretboard, and so I think that'll be the best look. So let's do with that. I'm just doing this with some leather dye. Doesn't take very long for this to dry, but I'll give it a few minutes, and we'll do something else while that's going on. Let that sit over there. Now I'm going to put the pick guard on. I just want to make sure that the saddle is going to, the bridge is going to end up in the right position. So it's about 34. That's about where it's going to sit. And let's just check this pick guard to make sure that I've got it built properly before we get too far away. Yeah, I like that. Good distance. There's lots of room around that. So here we go. Looks like from this angle. Now we have to do some repair to this. Put on tuners. I'm getting close. Getting close. Okay, we're going the right way. Let's probably have to drill some new holes in here. Yeah. Well, the tailpiece came in this morning, so we're going to get that on. glue that in place. First 0 fret might need to be replaced. The action is pretty decent, but it's the first fret missing.